welcome back to another scary animation video. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And today we're acting to MJV Animations. This animation is called Two Disturbing Horror Animations. Home Alone late at night. Now, it's late at night, but no, but hey, that dude looks like Morgan Freeman. I'm just kidding, he ain't black. But hey, let's get into it.
One night back in my high school years, my parents were out on their weekly date night. One of those had too many at dinner and passed out.
You still live here? You still live with your parents? You look like 32, man.
Theater kind of dates.
Oh,
anyways,
suck.
I had just returned from my evening jog. I had worked up quite a sweat in my run, so I had decided to take a cold shower and clean up a bit. My house doesn't have air conditioning, and I was quite stuffed up, so I decided to open a few windows to circulate the airflow within the house. I can remember opening a window in the kitchen, 2 windows across from each other in the living room, and 1 window in the basement. I knew I was going to be spending my evening down there.
Why open the window basement? You're retarded. You're retarded, kid.
Shower,
You're dumb, kid. You're dumb. What is that, lo mein? What is that? Noodles? That is noodles. That's like the crappiest noodles I've ever seen animated.
And went downstairs to make
These are great animators.
I took my dinner down to the basement to eat. I don't recall falling asleep.
You're retarded. You leave the basement window open. You leave the kitchen window open. And you go down. You lay down. You put the hot bowl of food on your chest. Oh my god. There's so much different scenarios to what could happen. This dude could get up, spills hot flippin' noodles all over the floor. He's like, oh no, I have to clean this up. Then while a dude's breaking into his house, then he goes upstairs. Next thing you know, the whole couch is gone by then.
But I must have passed out not too long after eating my food and lying down.
Your food is still there!
When I woke up, it was dark outside.
Oh my god.
The only light being cast into the basement was from the dimly lit TV screen. I got up and walked over to the light switch that was located at the bottom of the stairs. I closed the window, then went back to turn off the TV, grabbed my dishes, and head upstairs. When I got upstairs, all the lights were off, indicating that my parents were still not home from their date. I cleaned the dishes, put them in the dishwasher, and closed the window above the sink. Just before I went to go up into my room for the night, I remembered that the windows in the living room were still open. I walked over to close the one window by the TV, then over to the next, which was located by the front porch. I noticed that my mom's vase
that scared the hell out of me, man.
Was knocked off the table in front of the window, and the flowers were sprawled across the floor. I didn't think much of it at the time. Maybe the small gust of wind blew it over. Huh. Maybe. Or maybe some dudes in your house stealing a whole couch, man. It was a strong breeze and the curtains had tipped over. I closed the window and started picking up the flowers. As I was cleaning, I heard a faint squeaky sound. What I could only imagine was a door handle being twisted. I listened as hard as possible. Following the squeak of the handle was a creak in the hallway floor upstairs. A pain shot from my stomach to my chest, and I froze. After what seemed like an eternity of being bent over with one hand holding the vase and the other clutching the flowers, I slowly stood up. I looked out the front window to check the driveway for my parents' car, hoping it was one of them upstairs. The driveway was empty, and my heart sank. I quickly but quietly put the vase and flowers down on the table and silently began.
Bro, that looked like you slammed it. You're like, oh. Yeah, I totally did hit myself in the leg. Let's get back to it.
And walking over to the bottom of the stairs to look up. As I got closer to the stairs, I heard 2 more creaks on the floor, which caused me to stop dead in my tracks. I waited, listening. Nothing.
I was now only a few steps from the stairs. I took those last few steps and put one hand on the railing. I peeked around the corner and only saw darkness. I didn't know what to do. Do I flick on the lights?
Bro, this sounds like the dude who near the Burger King foot lettuce. I meant number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. Yes, very so.
And let the potential intruder in my house know that I'm coming upstairs? Do I leave and go to a friend's house? Do I call my parents? Do I grow a pair and just go upstairs? I decided to...
Well, first of all, what you want to do when you grow a pair is you want to plant the seed in the ground. Okay. I suck at making jokes.
Turn my phone on silent and go to the kitchen to text my dad.
Yes.
Making sure I was close
Make sure
to the back
you don't
door
call the
for an
cops.
easy getaway.
Text your dad.
My dad said, "Oh, it's an old house. It's just settling after a really hot day." I told him about the sound of the door handle twisting. He just assumed that there was an open window upstairs and the wind was knocking a door against the frame. Was that it? Could it be that just the windows were left open? I felt a huge chunk of my anxiety start to fade after talking with my dad. So I decided to grab a glass of water and head up to the bed. I flicked on the lights for the stairs and started making my way up, but slowly started making a tiny knot in my stomach from before. I got up to the top of the stairs and noticed that all of the doors were wide open, except for mine. My parents' room and spare bedroom were on the left, and the den and my room were on the right, with the bathroom at the end of the hallway. Though, as my dad had predicted...
That scared the hell out of me, man. They need to stop doing that. My God.
My door was cracked just enough that a breeze could be making it hit the frame. For as hot as it was today, it wasn't unusual for my mom to open all the doors and windows upstairs. I exhaled a sigh of relief, now fully confident that my dad was right.
Somebody's stealing the whole
I turned on the
couch.
lights in my room, did a quick look around, and walked over to my nightstand to put my water beside my laptop, then went off to the bathroom to get ready for bed. As I lay in bed trying to get sleepy, out of nowhere, I heard the sound of something slowly scraping my closet door. I quickly flicked on the lights beside my bed. My closet door was cracked open ever so slightly. Questions started racing through my head. Was it open the whole time? Was it closed when I came in?
That's time to jump out the window. I don't care if you break your legs, you stand up. I'm Andrew Tate now. You stand up, mate. You stand up and you walk. You don't die around me.
Positive that it was closed when I came in. Before I even had time to rationalize my thoughts, I heard the most disturbing, creepy, quiet, sinister laugh I'd ever heard in my life.
Man, got asthma. Here's your asthma inhaler, man.
I hate the sound I just heard.
Yeah.
As soon as I slid my laptop off my legs, the closet door burst open, and someone was standing in the closet.
My
My
God.
clothes were partially covering their body and face. I looked closer, and there was the
Yeah, don't
slickest
jump out the
and
window.
palest,
Don't call the cops.
dirtiest
Just
woman
look
I had
closer.
ever seen. For the split second that I saw her in horror, the image was burned into my brain forever. She had no shoes on her disgusting, dirt-stained feet. Her skin was sickening white with cut.
That's time to grab the baseball bat and go. Oh, he's saying shotgun. I'm retarded. Oh, whoa. But you're just walking around with a. I mean, it's night. I would turn off the light, grab a baseball bat, act like it is a shotgun, and then like put like a little banana. What?
And dried blood from her face, down her arms, all the way down to her legs. She was wearing what I assume used to be a white nightgown, and was now a discolored mess of dirt, blood, and who knows what else. Her gray, blue-veined, sunken face closely resembled a decaying skeleton. The rest of her face was hidden by my clothes. She asked in a quiet, grumbling, raspy voice, "Have you seen my baby?"
Your
That was
baby's
enough for
downstairs
me
dead.
to grab my phone and run.
Actually, no, your
As
baby
soon as I was halfway
drop
out of my
kicked out,
bedroom, I heard
went
her
straight out the
shriek,
window, flipping landed
"Give me
somewhere
my
in South
baby
Park.
back!" And
Your
clothes
baby's in
came
South Park.
thrashing
Go over
around
here.
behind me.
Pretty sure
I ran as
some
fast
dude
as I
drop
could to
kicked
the
it
upstairs
also.
bathroom and locked
Sorry
the
about it.
door. It was only a second later that I heard a huge crash against the door, along with the woman screaming in a
Any
devilish
audio?
toning demand that I
Better
return
not
her
get
baby.
copyrighted.
I called 911, and the operator
Oh,
assured
finally,
me that the
jeez, man.
police would be there as fast as they could. I jammed my feet against the door and held my back against the sink, trying my hardest to make sure the door stayed closed. The woman would not let up, though. Her shrieks turned into low, demon-like grunts, and her banging of the door turned into heavy bodily blows. After what seemed like an eternity, I heard a heavenly sound. I heard the police call out that they were entering the residence. I yelled at the top of my lungs that I was upstairs. The officers ended up pepper spraying the woman, and it took 3 of them to be able to force her to the ground. She was yelling in a possessed way the entire time.
Okay, first of all, officers ain't supposed to draw their gun on a unarmed suspect. You ain't supposed to put your hands on some random lady's face with a gun drawn. I mean, maybe if it was a taser and you tased her high, that would be okay. She might have cross-eyed, but who cares? She's a crazy lady. But never have your gun drawn at all.
I did not come out of the bathroom until the cops assured me that she was...
I'm pretty sure if I was in the bathroom, I would take a hot steaming dingling in the toilet. Oh, he didn't come out. Okay.
out of the house. The cops told me that she was likely on drugs or an escaped mental patient from the next county over. I tried telling them that she sounded like she was possessed or something, but they chalked it up to the woman just needing her medication. My parents arrived home shortly after I gave my statements to the police. We moved out of that house a month later. That was one night I was home alone, sadly, that I will never forget. I went to study.
Okay, right now we're moving on to animation 2. Whew, it's getting really intense. Not really, but like, hey, whew. Crazy lady in your closet. Oh, hell no. I'm jumping straight out the back window. I don't care. I am jumping out the window, calling the cops while running. I don't even care if I'm top. I don't even care at all. I'm just running. I'm not gonna go to a neighbor's house. I'm pretty sure they didn't even live near a neighbor. Yeah. Animation 2. Let's get into it.
In the USA as a foreign exchange student. I'm from South Korea, so this change of location gave me a huge culture shock. But it didn't take time to make friends. I'm the tallest guy in my group with deep black hair and quite a handsome look. But I had a weird secret. I've always had an innate fear of the night. Not so much the dark, but the night itself. As a child, my imagination was overcome with stories of creatures that come alive at night, and the safety offered by a house and light. I never had anything to base this fear on, until a night when I decided to go with a buddy of mine to a baseball game and got stuck at a light at 2 a.m. after dropping him off at home. Of course, that night, the game went into an extra inning, so I didn't get a chance to drop my friend off back home until well after 1 a.m. Everything was fine on my way.
It's really bad to get stopped at a stoplight for about 2 hours.
Until I hit a light right before the street that led to my house.
Oh my god.
It was a T-junction, and I was turning left. The light is one of those that you think is broken until it finally turns green, right when you finally decide to run it. Of course, I pulled right as the light turned red. I would have just run the light, seeing as no one was there, and it was closing in on 2 a.m. on a school night, but earlier that week, I heard the phrase, "Character is what you do when no one is looking." And for whatever reason, That was the night I decided to prove to myself that I was a man of character.
A
Big
man
mistake.
of
I pulled to a stop
driving
at the
a
light, feeling good
stoplight
about
when
myself,
nobody was looking.
bordering on
I bet you
self-righteous.
there's some like cop. I bet you that's a cop right there. Some random dude sitting on a bench, and there's nobody around except for that random dude. That dude's a cop. He's gonna somehow pull out a police bike from his back pocket, place it down, and drive away. Or not drive away, drive after you.
I happened to look out my window to my left and notice a lady sitting alone on a bus bench.
She's a lady?
She was small and skinny. She looked broken and dirty.
She
Who had lived a moderately hard life on the street. She had a lot of makeup on, kind of disturbing.
Huh, no crap.
Red lipstick was smeared on her lips, and her eyes had a gaze that could pierce your soul.
Hey ma'am, are you
Suddenly,
okay?
she
You want some
looked at me.
McDonald's?
We made a brief eye contact, and I quickly looked away.
Yeah, quickly.
It was too late.
Lady's
I
like,
could see movement out of my peripheral vision.
that's
I knew she was
time to
coming
hit
my
the
way.
pedal and go.
I looked out the window and noticed she was carrying a bag.
Bag
I
full of
quickly
money.
checked that my doors were locked and all my windows were up. Then I moved my right foot above the accelerator, just in case, and braced myself for what was to come. I was hoping it would be just an awkward exchange, and I was praying for a quick light change just before she reached me, so I could get out of here. I knew there was a slim chance of that. She walked right up to my window, put down her bag, and began to tap on my window. I nervously looked up at her, and she motioned for me to put down my window. I had automatic windows, so I just imagined pushing too hard on the window button, and that thing just coming all the way down. So I took a deep breath and lightly flicked it with my finger. The window moved microscopically down, but she didn't seem to care or notice. She then leaned in and began to talk. My boyfriend beat me up. I have a friend who lives down the street. Can you give me a ride?
Down the street, just walk there, man. Oh, I'm surprised you have a boyfriend.
All that to say, just by looking at her, there was no way to verify her story. She looked beat up by life, not just by her boyfriend. But there was something about her delivery. It was robotic and seemed practiced, like she was disconnected from the moment. Sorry. What? You are sorry? I can't help you. Please leave. After my first refusal, she leaned in closer and said the same thing again. My boyfriend beat me up. I have a friend who lives down the street. Can you give me a ride?
That's the time to roll up the window and speed it down the road, man. I don't care if you crash right into the garage. I don't care if you crash into your house. I don't care. It's like Amazon delivery. Fast there, get there.
No.
2-day delivery,
I'm
man.
late,
Come on.
And I have a curfew. You should leave.
You should leave.
She leaned in a third time and began her statement again.
Batman.
My boyfriend beat me. At this point, I slowly lifted my
Sorry
foot off
about
the
that.
brake and started slowly rolling forward and began muttering an apology. She didn't move. She just looked at the light and then looked down at me, leaned in closer and said 5 words that have haunted me ever since. You made the right decision. Then she picked up her bag and walked back towards the bench. I peeled out of the intersection and cried and screamed the whole way to my...
First of all, why are your fingers like that? You're like, oh, yo, symphony all fall. And first of all, that lady, you should have drove a long time ago. Screw, I've been waiting for that lady to get up to your vehicle. My boyfriend beat me. My dear Michael, I slammed my balls on the precious car door. The car door's gone. I'm sorry about it. I had to do it.
Hostile. I have no idea what she
Hostile?
planned to do.
Hostile?
Or if there were people
Postal?
waiting to jump
Postal
in my car
service?
from the bushes had I moved to let her in. But that encounter has haunted me ever since and has confirmed in my mind that nothing good happens after dark.
Well, that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.